All right, everyone. Well, it is that time. It is that time for Marilyn's Cafe Society radio show right here on YouTube. It's Saturday, July 18th, 2020. And how are you doing on this Saturday? Oh, wow. I'm good. I'm good. A bit slow getting the show up today. Had some early morning business to take care of, but I'm back. And it looks like maybe just before the rain, um, I don't know, it could or could not. Sometimes it can be cloudy all day and not rain at all. So we'll see, but it is hot. So, in case you didn't know that, make sure that you prepare for the heat if you're in the Chicagoland area. In fact, tomorrow I think we're supposed to be near 100 degrees with the heat index. So, again, be cautious, take care of yourselves, make sure you stay hydrated and all that good stuff. Well, I've had a pretty busy week, productive week. Was good to be able to check in with you all on Wednesday with the show. And of course, the blog was up on Thursday. So I hope that you got something out of the blog. I had nothing. Actually, I had a lot. A lot was just going on up here, but I just could not get it all out. So hopefully next week we'll have some good information to share with you on the blog. Not that this week wasn't short and sweet, but hopefully you got something out of it. All right, so let's get right into the show, everyone. Of course, as of about 10 o'clock this morning, just under 14,250,000 new cases, or in total cases of the coronavirus worldwide was reported. More than 600,000 deaths, and about 8.5 million people worldwide have recovered from the coronavirus. Now, here in the United States, there's a little more than 3,778,000 cases being reported, about a total of 142,000 deaths, and well over 1.7 million have recovered here in the United States. Now, here in Illinois, things are changing. I've been proudly reporting how well Illinois has been doing and keeping the numbers down here in the state of Illinois. Well, now in the last couple of days, they've been seeing a slight uptick. Nothing major, but an uptick is an uptick, and there's reason to be concerned. I guess as of yesterday, 1,400 new cases were reported, and that's mostly because of the record high batch of testing that they've been able to accomplish. I think around 44,000 have been tested, and as a result of that, 1,400 tested positive. What that means, everyone, is that people have been walking around with the virus asymptomatic and potentially spreading it to other people, or not. I'm just putting that out there now. And, the good thing is we're not talking about, here in the state of Illinois, we're not reporting upticks in hospitalizations or deaths, so that's a good thing. Now, Texas, Florida, I believe California, and several other states are busting at the seams in terms of those who have been hospitalized, and sadly, deaths have been on the increase as well. So we certainly hope that they get it together. We know that we've been hearing the reports that a couple of those states have returned to lockdown. Restaurants and businesses have been shut down again. And the big push now is the importance of the mask. Now, remember early on, way back in March, when we first were hit with this COVID-19 and the country shutting down, the big question was to mask or not to mask. And, within a few weeks, we were being told that we probably should wear a mask. And then a month, 6 weeks in, it was like, yeah, definitely wear your mask. So Right now, it is being mandated that you wear your mask, everyone, because again, there's people who are testing positive for the coronavirus, but they don't have any symptoms. That does not negate the potential of them spreading that virus to someone else who could, in fact, go downhill as a result of having it. So please wear your mask. I cannot say that enough. Wear your mask, wear your mask. And just recently, the Center for Disease Control has extended its ban on the United States cruises through September 30th. So just keep that in mind as well, all right? You know, because a lot of folks are getting back to business as usual. They're traveling, they're going out into the stores and the malls and parks and all of that, but social distancing is not being practiced, and wearing the mask is not being practiced. And of course, the CDC has the concern with the cruise ships because it's so contained. You know, everything is contained within the ship, and there's so many people who participate in these cruises. The control factor is just thrown out of the window. So that's why they have banned cruises through September 30th. All right, so stay tuned. We'll certainly follow that as time goes on. Now, let's give you an update on the unemployment situation. It's being reported that about 1.3 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits for the first time just in this past week. But overall, in summation, those who may have had to go back on unemployment last week, including the new people who filed for unemployment, that number is around 1.5 million people. So that's where we are with the unemployment. And remember that those benefits run out by the end of the month. That extra $600 that some folks have been getting is going to go away. All right, some good news for retailers. The United States retail sales climbed 7.5% in the month of June. Core retail sales grew about 5.6%. Now, if you take away the fickle categories like auto and gas stations, that is the number, 5.6%. Now, this is apparently all due to the fact that people are getting out and about, and as we said moments ago, back to business as usual. The consumers are going back to their preferred malls and stores, and so spending is up, or was up for the month of June. As a result of that, e-commerce dropped slightly, 2.4% in June, but the restaurant and bars sales went through the roof. They went up about 20%. So, you know, it's good news for the month of June. Now, the bad news is that as a result of things opening back up, the spikes in the COVID-19 has happened. And so many states and communities are going back to phase one, where they're shutting things back down for this month, the month of July, which means when we get the reports for July, they may not be as optimistic. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens, all right? Now, when you factor in the fact that the extra $600 per week in unemployment benefits is going away, August may not be looking so good as well when it comes to consumer spending. So we'll just see. We're going to try to stay optimistic, right? Hopefully people will get back to work and, continue as usual with their spending. All right, in other news, Michelle Obama is hosting an interview-style podcast on Spotify that is going to debut the end of this month on the 29th of July. So good for her, right? And speaking of podcasts, oh boy, you guys have been hearing that story about Nick Cannon. I kind of touched on it on the broadcast Wednesday. Of course, just backtracking, remember that as a result of some talk that Nick Cannon engaged in with one of his guests on his podcast, Canon Class, it's called. Folks over at Viacom CBS canceled his television show that airs on their MTV channel, I believe it's called Wild and Out. And Fox, folks thought that he was going to lose his show on Fox as well, The Masked Singer. But they embraced him, they support him. And he also still continues with his podcast, although it was reported as of yesterday that that is on hiatus right now. So, as a result of all of this, his initial backlash was obviously with his employers, Viacom and CBS, and then individuals from the Jewish community who accused him of anti-Semitic talk or hate towards the Jewish people in the community. And he stood firm initially. He stood by what he said. He even went so far as to say that Viacom and CBS were actually showing hate. And he also demanded that if he was going to be fired, he wanted to walk away with the Wilding Out show, which is his brand, his creation, etc., etc. Well, the next day, he came back with an apology. So before we get into his apology, let's just backtrack for a second, and just think about the situation. If you were an employer, you had a business, a company, and you heard that one of your employees was making some disparaging comments, even what may be considered vile remarks about your people, your history, your ethnicity, your race. How would you respond to that? Whether the remarks were true or not, what would you do? What would you do? So I'm thinking that it just depends. Your reaction or your actions that you take would depend on the relationship that you have with the employee, right? So apparently Nick Cannon has been with Viacom for years, I believe decades, and so you would think that there would be a connection, a real relationship between Viacom and Nick Cannon. So in that instance, you would think perhaps that, before they cancel his show, there would be some real conversation. And I guess it was reported that they did have conversation, and they just weren't pleased with the outcome. Maybe his demeanor, maybe his steadfastness and standing behind his comments or what he said. But okay, so let's just go ahead. I just wanted to throw that out there. What would you do? I guess if it was someone that you could care less about as an employee, you would probably just let them go, cancel the show, fire them, or whatever. You would just be done with them. So let's just jump ahead now and talk about his apology. So as a result of the backlash, Nick, I guess, also was contacted by leaders from the Jewish community, which include distinguished rabbis and the likes, and he had meetings with them and what is being referred to as educational moments or teachable moments. And so as a result of those meetings and talks and teachable time spent together, Nick Cannon felt that he was wrong and he had a reason to apologize to his Jewish brothers and sisters to our, to our Jewish brothers and sisters. And so he did. And as a result of that, members of the black community took issue with his apology because they felt that he had no need or no reason to apologize. I say, what else was he to do? Um, um, it seems like, though, the apology is not getting his show back on Viacom or CBS. It sounds, from what I've been hearing, there are some reports out there that there are some other networks that are offering him an opportunity to come to their network. But the apology was, I guess, for the most part, for the Jewish community, for those Jewish friends, brothers and sisters, as he calls them, who have been through what, the African American has been through. He is a man. He has responsibilities. He has children. He has a household. He has, he has to keep working. And so I could see why he made the apology. However, I think the real teachable moment here was missed by Viacom and CBS. The, the, the real teachable moment was missed. The opportunity for Viacom and CBS to show their true support to the black community was missed. And it seems that they chose to play up to the very language that Nick is accused of using to describe their past, past behavior of whites, as well as maybe some Jewish people, and should we dare say maybe present behavior. They played up to that, their past transgressions, by just tossing him away as if he meant nothing to them, right? So they missed an opportunity to show their record of support to the black community. They missed an opportunity to run down their list of everything that they've done for the black community, for their black employees, to create black opportunities, right? They missed an opportunity to show how, if their dealings with the black community were not what they should be, they missed an opportunity to rectify the situation by making and committing to future programming that would include, a balanced image of blacks and American society, or around the world for that matter. For every show or program that plays up to the stereotypes of blacks, they would create a program that offset that, right, or counter that, or showed us as we are. So that was a missed opportunity. They could have gone a step further, Viacom, CBS, and maybe even Fox, by putting together a panel, a town hall style program that included Nick Cannon and a panel of other black scholars and educators and leaders from the black community, as well as the Jewish community, and have a real talk, so that everyone could speak on their pain and speak on the misinformation or the misunderstandings or the miscommunications or the miseducation of blacks about Jews or whites, as well as Jews about blacks and whites, and hash it all out. That was a missed opportunity for some real talk, some real steps towards reconciliation and correction to take place. A missed opportunity on Viacom and CBS's part, as well as Fox. That's what I think is the most important lesson that we can pull from all of this, because it's no secret that a lot of groups, particularly here in America, has not had a good experience with not all whites, but some whites in general. And everyone believes that their experience is worse than the other group's experience. And everyone has suffered, to say the least. Some for a generation or two. In the case of African Americans and blacks in America, it has been for several generations. We're in the year 2010 in the new millennium, and blacks in America still don't have, although we have true spending power as consumers, we don't have the real power as a Viacom or a CBS does. Nick Cannon is not in a position where he could go and start his own network, for example. So I think there's still a lot of work to do. I believe that Viacom and CBS did handle this situation wrong. I think that Nick Cannon did the right thing in offering an apology. I do not believe that it made him appear weak in any kind of way. He was a man who knew he had responsibilities and did not want a bad situation to become worse. So he did what he felt he had to do in his heart and needed to do to maintain his family and his standard of living. So that's all. That's all I have. I pray that everything works out. I pray that maybe Viacom, CBS, and maybe even Fox will consider this town hall style meeting televised, also aired online, that includes some of our top scholars representing all ethnicities involved, so that we can understand each other better. Remember, I've been blogging about this all month, about understanding and wisdom, and how we need to go to the next step. We need to have that. We need to open up our minds and our hearts so that we can understand each other better, so that we can move beyond where we are right now in this society and move beyond years, decades, centuries of this disconnect and this racism. There's just no other way to put it. This racism, this belief that the Black Americans, the African Americans are nothing. And then, perhaps we can make some headway and room and really change things. So we'll see if that happens. I wish Nick Cannon well. And, for in terms of that education he got, I hope that it was a true education and not some kind of indoctrination, because that happens as well. Remember, I told you, sometimes this adult peer pressure can be just as bad as, when we're kids and we tell the kids, don't go along to get along. Stand for what is right. I know I'm all over the place, but let's see. Let's wait and see. Let's see if Viacom and CBS come back and they work this thing out. Nick Cannon is not a stranger. He's not a newbie to that network. He's been with them forever, and I think the way they handled him was totally foul. So So we'll see if things get corrected, all right? All right, before we go, we're going to take a look at the stock market for today at the close of business on Friday, July 17th. The Dow was down 62.76 points to 26,000, I should say, 671.95. The S&P 500 was up 9.16 points to 3,224.73, and the NASDAQ was up 29.36 points to 10,503.16. Gold was down $9.70 to 1,810, and oil was up 16 cents to $40.59, and that's where we are with that. Now, stocks that were not performing well include Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, of course, due to the recent ban, or extension, I should say, of the ban on U.S. cruise ships. They were down just 34 cents per share to $15.27 per share. And Netflix, believe it or not, is down $34.40 to $492.99. And I believe that is all due to the fact that people had, are out and about and just not spending time in sheltered in place anymore. All right, stocks that did well. Well, Lending Tree Inc. is up $7.14 to $324.82 per share. BlackRock Inc. is also up $20.76 to $587.72 per share. All right. All right, and that's our business news. Now, remember, if you have an idea, a show idea, or you want to be a guest, you have a book, or just perspective, reach out to us at producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. Producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. Also, we do have the Christmas giveaway that starts in October. We'll do one in October, one in November, leading all the way up to Christmas. All right. One each month, and we'd love to help you get the word out about your business, your product, your brand, your persona, your books, whatever it is that you would like to include in the giveaway that we'll be doing. Just reach out to us, producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. You'll get months of exposure on the show leading up to the giveaways that we do. All right, producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. You ready for a laugh? All right, let's take a look at our laugh for the day, and I'm queuing up my music to help us continue on with our Saturday. Let's get it going here. I do not own rights to this music. All right, but I do want you to enjoy as we close out the show and as I share the laugh of the day. And here it is. What lives in apples and reads a lot? What lives in apples and reads a lot? A bookworm. I know they're corny, but they're so good, aren't they? A bookworm, everybody. That's your laugh of the day with Think and Laugh Daily. All right, all right, all right. So remember, check us out on Twitter, Maryland's Cafe Social on Twitter, Maryland's Cafe Society on Facebook, and of course the website Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. And we blog every week. It's up by Thursday of every week on WordPress, Maryland's Cafe Society, and right here on YouTube, Maryland's Cafe Society Radio on YouTube. Love is, I have it on this day. Love is getting your priorities right in an emergency. Getting your priorities right in an emergency. And there it is. So cute. All right. I think that's it. As always, remember, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live your laugh and your love. It's a pleasure and a privilege. And we will talk again right here on Maryland's Cafe Society Radio on YouTube. Peace, everybody. Talk to you Saturday. No, Wednesday. refreshing. This is a good one, an oldie but a good one. Um, this one is after 7, I believe, with Babyface. Uh-oh, uh-oh. What happened? It went away. Well, we got the commercial, the YouTube commercial going in the middle of the music. That is not good at all. All right, well, we tried, everybody. We tried. Okay? So enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll talk again by Wednesday of next week. Stay safe, wear your mask, and social distance. I know it's so hard. I see people and I just want to give them a hug, and then I have to remember, and so I give them the elbow bump. A couple times I went in for the hug real quick though, but I had my mask on. In fact, I wear 2 masks when I'm out in public. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.